Alright, so for those of you just tuning in, my name is Resonance22, and welcome to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. I haven't done a Wi-Fi battle on my channel in quite a while, and I've been reading a ton of Pokemon since. Here, this is going to be a UU and below battle, so all the Pokemon in here are relatively unpopular and interesting. I think the only OU Pokemon in this particular match is Pelipper, if I do recall. I'm bringing some of my interesting old favorites, and we're playing versus one of my viewers, that guy with the tuba. I'm very much looking forward to this battle. It's been a while since I've actually get to do any outside of Pokemon Showdown. But I really want to bring back the good old days of those Pokemon X and Y community streams that we used to do. So your feedback is definitely appreciated here. Now, for those of you who have no idea what Pokemon is, I got multiple tutorials on it that I definitely recommend that you check out. Especially if you're interested in getting into Pokemon, I have a competitive team building tutorial, as well as just an introduction to the overall flow of the game. Now, I didn't really get too much of a chance to explain how my team actually works, so I'm going to try and go through this a little bit faster than I used to in my X and Y battles, as well as edit out any silence between turns. He leads with Garbodor, which is kind of expected, or Pelipper to try and set up the rain. It looks like he's some sort of weather team of some sort. And I figured this is his Toxic Spike setter, so I think he's going to try and start out the game by setting up some entry hazards. The turn-based strategy games, it's probably one of the deepest turn-based strategy games out there, and that's why I love it so much. If you really like Age of Empires 2, you'd be pleasantly surprised to find out that Pokemon has like that same level of strategic depth and competitive scene that I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of. So here I can go for a Volt Switch for free, because I know I'm faster than Garbodor, and then this will allow me to go out into my flying Dark-type Pokemon. This is an old classic, so this is my Mandibuzz here. I'm going out into Mandibuzz because I know that Mandibuzz can survive a gunk shot pretty safely from his Pokemon. In addition to that, I know that Mandibuzz can also remove his hazards. Now, we're kind of operating off the honor system here in the hopes that my opponent is not listening to my plays. I'm not really sure on the best way to, I guess, ensure that that doesn't happen, but, you know. Okay, so here I could, defog is always an option, but I wanted to go out into this person because I feel like I can knock off if he wants to switch out. Or I could go... Pain Split! Oh, that's a fire set. I love battling people in Pokemon who use interesting Pokemon, like Tuba does. Oh, he's Rocky Helmet! Oh my god, Rocky Helmet Garbodor. Well, he's clearly defensive because my Heliolisk did a ton of damage to him. A ton of damage. And I'm really glad I got to remove that Rocky Helmet. I actually think I do want to Fog here, because he might switch. Or he'll just go for Gunk Shot. I lived this, though. That's just from years of experience. I used to play this game super competitively, so I have a good idea of how much damage everything does and what most Pokemon do. If this game seems really overwhelming to get into, then that's what my battles are for, and my stream is for to help break things down for you. And in addition to that, I've got a ton of tutorials for it, but really you don't have to memorize all the Pokemon in the game to actually be able to play Pokemon. You just need to memorize a small subset of them. He did unfortunately get the poison on me, which is a little rough, which will force me to go for the Roost here, basically giving him a free switch. Or he'll just go for another T-Spikes. He might actually be able to stall me out here, it depends, but I tend to avoid stalling my opponents out whenever possible because I just don't think it's very fun. To me, Pokemon's one of those ultimate expressions of creativity, so I try and treat it as such. Doc PBG says, Pokemon is 10D chess when you're playing anything below OU. I agree. Pokemon has so much mind games and depth to it, it's unbelievable, and that's something that I express in my Pokemon tutorial. For those of you watching live, you can check out the Pokemon tutorial by typing !Pokemon tutorial, and if you're watching on YouTube, then you can find it in the video description. His Rocky Helmet, so he has no recovery. He can just keep setting up spikes on me. I don't really like that. And I can't keep fogging him. How bad are T-Spikes for my team? So we have to take a look at that. How bad are T-Spikes? Or in the words of Falsehood Gaming, how good are T-Spikes actually? Well, let's take a look at my team real fast. My favorite Pokemon's Goodra, by the way. T-Spikes are quite bad for my team, actually. I look at his team, and I see trouble, for sure. I'm not exactly sure what I should do here. I'm not a big fan of this current situation. I could always whirlwind him out if I really wanted to, so I think I will do that. I'll whirlwind him out, and then... because he could switch, and then I can defog again, right? That's pretty good. Okay, so he goes into Explode. I think Explode would ruin my day, so it's a good to get that thing out. Does this thing have Drought, or is it Flash Fire? Okay, he has Drought, which sets up the Sun, which will increase the power of his Fire-type attacks, and weaken the power of Water-type attacks. If anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. Calcin says the only way to ensure that you don't get sniped is to use your full move time and run at a huge delay. Yeah, that's something I haven't really been able to figure out, is exactly how I can avoid players actually just listening in and sniping me. But, I mean, it worked really well on X and Y, where I would say people were operating pretty well off the honor system, I think. And I have enough Pokemon that I managed to, you know, make it work, but I'm not entirely sure. Perhaps it's just building a trustworthy community for it, you know? It just says missing those banned. Henry asks, why would you choose the Fire Ninetales over Alolan Ninetales? Well, if you would like to set the Sun instead of the Hail. And also if you think regular Ninetales is more cool. I use the Pokemon that I really like. So I treat, like I said, Pokemon as an expression of creativity. So for me, I use my favorite Pokemon. Here I knew I was full well sacking my Mandibuzz. I knew I was going to sack it here. He's faster, right? Do I need this thing for death fodder? Do I have anything with, that can just eat whatever he uses? And can just kill him? Or do I just have to sack? I think I'm just gonna sack my... Yeah, I'm gonna sack my Mandibuzz and go for knockoff here in case he wants to set up on me, predicting me to switch out, and end up going into something... So here, this is really good, because I could keep my... There we go. I think I removed his Heat Rock, right? Which would increase the duration of Sun. Which would be very bad. So I went for knockoff there, sacking my Mandibuzz, because I figured he'd assume I'd want to keep it for death fodder. So the idea with switching in Pokemon, as I explained in my I'm live streaming now video, is that whenever you switch in Pokemon, you actually take an attack from your opponent, so you end up losing momentum. But if you lose a Pokemon, you get a free switch in. The game is really well balanced, interesting, and well designed, and again, my tutorial video covers that. So I just don't want to let him sweep. I mean, I could just be crazy and just whirlwind him here. I would really like him to Heat Wave or just force him to do something. He's going to go for Solar Beam here, which doesn't take a turn to charge up because he's in the Sun, which is nice. I think I'll do some Showdown battles as well to make things more accessible for people, but I do encourage anyone who has Sun and Moon to let me know, or have Ultra Sun and Moon. These just look really nice, and I spent so much money on this capture card that it's nice to use it. So what's the best way to deal with regular Ninetales is the question. In future battles you can expect me to provide, like, slightly briefer analysis, but perhaps that's my appeal, I'm not really sure. So we know he has Solar Beam, which is very bad for me because I can't go out into Jellicent like I'd like to. I do feel like I can kill him with Arcanine, so we're gonna give that a shot. And here, I don't actually have to take any damage on the switch. I was really worried about taking a Sun-boosted Heat Wave from him. I just don't want to take any damage on this, because I have Flare Blitz. Now, we know that he... Oh, we know he doesn't have Flash Fire. It is the Sun, so this Flare Blitz would do a ton of damage to anything. And I'm pretty sure I'm faster than regular Ninetales. But that's not entirely clear, actually, if I'm faster than regular Ninetales. But I don't think he'll do anything to me. Do I think he would go out into Pelipper? If he goes into Pelipper, this man is the GOAT, and I think he deserves it. So I could definitely predict him going on to Pelipper. Okay, so he is actually faster than me. That's okay, because I know that whatever move he uses is a 3-hit KO. This is a little unfortunate, because it puts me a bit lower than I wanted, and I was kind of hoping to catch him on the switch. I'm a little surprised he stayed in, because there was a chance that I could kill him with extreme speed. if I'm choice banded. I don't know if Life Orb Extreme Speed kills from that range as my held item, but I think it's at least close, because Ninetales is not very bulky on the physical side. In fact, it's actually quite frail. Now, he's going to go into Shiftry here, which actually has the Chlorophyll ability. I know this because I'm a giant nerd and I play a ton of Pokemon 24/7, so... Oof. We're only on Sun turn 3. This is bad, so it actually doubles his speed stat, which means that we gotta get out of there. Makes me wish I went for E-Speed, but I felt like Flare Blitz in the Sun just covered any switch he would go to, but he actually ended up sacking Ninetales. Do I have a good way to deal with this? Perhaps I do. We'll go out into the mainstay of every single Pokemon team I build. It's either Arcanine or Goodra, or in this case, both. I do think that this game is reasonably well balanced, even though there are clearly some Pokemon better than others, yes. Indeed, Doc. I mean, it depends on the formats you play, and the people that you play with. I think that you kind of have to make an agreement to just use... Yeah, as Karen says, strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon. Play with your favorites. So... Tuba guy is in here. I'm pretty sure I wall him. Pretty sure I do. Now, what kind of switch do I want to predict? Or do I want to predict a switch at all? If I want to predict a switch, I go for T-Volt. If he stays in, I want the Flamethrower. I'm not going to over-predict here. I'm just going to go straight for the Flamethrower because he's probably going to stay in. Actually, wait, yeah, aren't all Shiftries physical? I never really see this Pokemon. But yes, I guess they are all physical, right? They're like Leaf Blade knockoffs, Rock Slides and stuff. They've got Chlorophyll. Weird Pokemon. Never really see it. I just remember it from Gen 3 as Sydney's Grass Dark type. Yeah, I guess they're all physical, right? Yeah, we're in both sets. Okay, never mind. I was confused. Doc asks, what ability does Heliolisk run? So, my Heliolisk does not run Solar Power. Good question, Doc. Otherwise, I would be abusing it right now, but no, I do not have Solar Power. So, it's a good question. I think that these things are usually special attackers, right? So he's gonna, like, Boom Burst me. I might live this because I'm Assault Vest Goodra, and Assault Vest Goodra is disgusting. It's a tank. It's a monster. Now, here's one of my secrets with Pokemon. I have multiple Goodras. And I also have 3 Arcanines. And I'd like to get more. So let's review his team again, just real quick. I'm still getting used to this, and any sort of formatting or suggestion options that you have would be appreciated. I don't know if there's a way to operate around this besides the honor system, unless we're just on Showdown and I'm just constantly shuffling my teams. But I feel like this is easier to watch. I just really am looking for people's feedback. And if you want to support more Age of Empires, then one of the best ways to do it is to actually support my Pokemon content as well. Now, I went for a Flamethrower there because it was sun boosted, but here's the problemo. The sun is down, so I don't even know if I can kill this thing anymore. But do I really care? Because I might just want to sack my Goodra at this point. I don't think it's useful. Because I think that he's just going to predict my switch if I end up trying to go out into Decidueye. Ah! I should have got out into Decidueye there. That was a free Decidueye switch. Oh well. I felt like the risk of him going for Fire Blast, especially considering that this is a team that runs dual weather, because I know that his Pokemon are mostly for doubles. And I really should breed more doubles mons. I really should. I should have gone out into Decidueye, because it so turns out that he actually did go for Boom Burst, which is normal, and Nylea, my Decidueye, is immune to Boom Burst, so I could have gone out into it for free. But I didn't want to over-predict, because if he went for Fire Blast or something like that, I would have looked like a fool. So can't do that. Here I'm going to try and catch him by surprise by Sucker Punching him. Pray it kills, even though Explode's kind of fat. Yes. No one actually knows what Decidueye runs, because no one runs Decidueye, except for me. But I really, really love this Pokemon. So, caught him off guard there. Can that thing have Scrappy, Doc? I thought they have Soundproof usually, but I don't normally play against Pokemon of such a wonderful caliber. And I love that I get to use some of my more obscure Pokemon as well. Dun, 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 dun. So I think I'm faster. And I know that T-Spikes are really bad for me, so I'm just gonna do it. I love the animation and just this move in general. This is so sick. Check this out, guys. Sinister Arrow Raid. And I know that kills, even though I am almost certain at this point, based off the damage he took on turn 1, because I always try to pay super close attention, that he is physically defensive. I know that kills. So, Syspawn asks, follow-up question, is having perfect IV/EV Pokemon all necessary to challenge you in Sun and Moon? I've got the game, not Ultra yet, sadly. I'm not a true competitive team in that sense. So, I can help you and any viewers of my channel by giving out perfect IV Pokemon, and I can even assist with EV training. So, while it isn't necessary, it helps. You actually have to check your Pokemon to make sure if their IVs are all terrible, because there's a huge difference between having a Pokemon with the 5 IV in every stat, and then one that isn't perfect but has in the 20s. It's a difference of about 10% damage that you take. So the bird is here. Pelipper is actually very slow, but it does a lot of damage in the rain. I think he's going to Hurricane me, because in the rain, Hurricane, this flying type move, does not miss. I believe it's 110 base power special, 70 accuracy, 30% confuse chance. Does not miss in the rain. I think he's going to Hurricane me. I'm going to go out into my Jellicent, which covers his Hydro Pump, his Scald, or his Hurricane play. I believe Hurricane is not a 2-hit KO on specially defensive Jellicent. Thank you so much, Zelda, for following the stream, as well as Cool Dude and Yottabyte HD. And Jay Savage for the 1,000 bits right here. What's up, Zelda? Welcome to the live stream. Good to see ya. Good night, One Squirrel. Always a pleasure to have you. I'm doing a viewer battle right now here versus the Tuba guy. So, Jellicent ate that up, and the thing is that none of my Pokemon actually run, with maybe like 2 exceptions, actual standard Smogon movesets. I believe I accidentally revealed one of my Goodras, but it's okay, I've got multiple of them with different movesets and spreads. I made all these up, and this is nice because it screws up everyone's damage calcs if they happen to just be Calcan. But I do believe I walled the ever-loving piss out of this Pelipper. If he wants to go out into Ludicolo, I expect that. I'm just going to Wisp, I'm not going to overpredict. I probably should have predicted the Ludicolo though, but I don't think there's much I can do. I'd rather just get some kind of residual damage on this thing. Even though Burn halves physical attack and not special attack, and these things are always special attackers, shoutouts to Mirby, I know that there's not much I can do about that. I think he's Swift Swim and not Rain Dish. Swift Swim would be raising his speed in the rain, and Rain Dish would be healing him every turn. He's gonna try and sweep me. I know I live at Giga Drain, and I don't really have a good answer to that. I wish I was out in my Arcanine right now so I could bait out the Water-type attack, but I don't really have a great answer to this thing. I think that it's possible it takes a lot from Hex, and I think I actually want to... Oh, do I want to sack? Because I have to think about this. If I sack my Jellicent, do I get swept by Pelipper? No, I don't. I've got a couple... I got one... Well, the answer to Pelipper. So I'm fine. You always have to be careful in Pokemon about what Pokemon you're trading for. Competitive Pokemon is like a game of chess, in which you have to be careful about the pieces, cognizant about every single trade that you make. You need to be aware at all times of not only the state of the board, but also what pieces are necessary to win, and what pieces you can afford to just trade off. That crit actually did matter a little bit. I am actually very disappointed in how little damage my Will-O-Wisp plus Hex combo does. That's really weak. I mean, I took Shadow Ball off it for Hex for this specific reason, but I'm whelmed, is the answer. Yes, one could consider me quite whelmed. Well, this thing has Swift Swim, which sucks. I mean, I just don't want to, like... I mean, he's just gonna drain me, though, that's the problem. And he's like faster than me with everything. I think I have to go out into Decidueye so that he doesn't get too much healing. I've considered going out to Arcanine, but I don't know. I know he's going to Giga Drain either way. I feel like both of them can eat the Giga Drain without question, right? I think Arcanine has a better chance of killing this thing, but at the same time, I get to scout for Ice Beam here. I get to stall out turns of Rain, hopefully get him to switch. I'm mostly scouting for Ice Beam. I also don't want to lock myself into extreme speed yet, because he's not low enough. But if he does reveal the Ice Beam, then I'm good to go. Should I go for the Leaf Blade crit or the Spirit Shackle trap? I'm actually going to try and trap him with Spirit Shackle in case he switches. He does have Ice Beam, so now we know. I think I still live this, though, because Decidueye has really just been consistently pulling through for me. This is a unique move, Spirit Shackle, which will prevent my opponent from switching. So the guy can no longer switch. And yes, the residual damage from the burn does indeed take out Ludicolo, which is absolutely fantastic for me. There are a bunch of things I really want to do with Pokemon. I want to get into casting tournaments somehow. I just don't know how I get to do that, but I feel like applying my years of casting Age of Empires tournaments would be very useful here. And now I've got him pretty low. I'm going to Sucker Punch him here and sack my Decidueye. Ooh! Oh my god, he's Tailwind! Huh? Right, his team is composed of a lot of Doublesmons. I was going to say, like, no madman. Nobody's that crazy enough to just dry roost at full HP. No one would ever do that. Nobody. Okay, well, he's going to attack me now, right? Okay, there we go. But yeah, I was like, he's not going to roost, so what else does he have? Well, he actually has Tailwind. That's quite bad for me, because he's in the range. His Hurricane will never miss. And now his Pelipper, which is actually much slower than you'd think, is much faster than I would like it to be. Now, here's the trick. I'm not sure if Banded E-Speed kills Pelipper, because it's kind of fast. So instead, I'm going to think that I live the Hurricane, and I'm just going to knock him out with my Volt Switch here. I really want another one of... And I revealed the Dry Skin! Woo! I would have died if I was Solar Power, but I think most of these are Solar Power, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not entirely sure. I guess some do run Dry Skin, I don't know. No one runs Heliolisk. Except for me, man. GG, well played. GG, man. That was really fun. That was really fun. Everyone forgets about Dry Skin because no one knows this Pokemon. Oh yeah, we did it. Yeah, Decidueye is amazing. Yeah, I can play both Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. If you have Pokemon Sun, Zelda you can actually play with Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. And I'll be giving out Pokemon, so if there's any Pokemon that you need Zelda, I'm here to help. Thank you for following the stream, by the way. Maybe one of my mods can give you an invite link to the Discord or something, and we'll try and set you up. But GG, well played. That was really fun playing. It was my pleasure. I take it your Heliolisk is Solar Power. Ooh. Oh man, that was fun. Oh, he wants to invite me to a trade? Well, before I do that, I don't know what he wants to trade for, but I will say thank you so much for watching. I will post this specific battle on YouTube. Oh yeah, and for patrons and subs, I routinely do team building workshops, so huzzah!